All right. I moved you guys over here. You're on the piano now. Looking this way. I know it's been a quick minute. I was playing it's the LTD. Sound through the positive grid. Anywho, how's the hell is everyone's bean? Your bean's all right? So, anyway, got a couple things to talk about today. A couple things to just shout out. So, you're here with your old boy, old man, old geezer, whatever you want to go. I could say other words that are inappropriate in case kids stumble across this. But whatever. Anyway, so one of the reasons I moved it over here, someone said that when I play stuff, they're hearing the strings of my picking. More than they're hearing the amp. So what I did was move the location. They recommended I always like to hear from people. I don't mind whether it's positive, critiquing. You know, obviously no one likes to get slammed. Dude, you're old, give it up, hang it up. I've had it. I've had people come to me and say stuff like, I've had people say, dude, get rid of your comb over. It's not a comb over. Yes, I'm losing my hair as I get old and whatever. It's not a comb over. But yeah, I'm always down to hear people's opinions. You know, it is what it is, right? But anyway, he recommended I go to a thinner pick. I think the problem, I've never really played with thinner picks. When I was younger, I did, and I got so tired of breaking them or them cracking along the side back in the 80s, maybe early 90s. And then I just finally picked up I used to play with those purple, is it the purple Tolex ones or whatever? Now I'm using these Jazz, here's what I'm using nowadays. I do have, other, like I have, I have these picks. These ones are, oh my goodness, I'm going to forget the name of anyway, that's actually my daughter's face on my guitar pick, and then it has her name in there. But, I do try all different kinds of brands. I've had to go around with all of them, and those Jazz ones right now are just easier because you remember, I don't know whether there was a video where I was actually doing the using my fingers a lot, and I just found it easier to kind of trap the Jazz one. Moses, the helicopter's coming in. you know, anyway. So he recommended that I, all these different things, sirens and everything. I live in a good neighborhood, don't worry. So anyway, yeah. So I figured I'd throw you up on top of the piano, and I would, turn the amp up a little bit. So now you're actually behind the amp, as opposed to before you were right directly in front of me and the amp was off to one side. Now that we've got that out of the way, okay? Now that that's behind us now. So, I'm going to be changing some things up on this channel. I'm going to look into getting some different camera angles and setups going for the band room, not just here. In fact, let's do this. I want to start getting, so you guys get to see a lot more of the equipment, the band room, and what's going on. I just picked up some pedals, and I'm definitely going to start working on some different things. Try and get a little bit more professional with it. When I first started doing this, I always wanted it to be a raw channel. I get it. If I had an intro, a green screen, and who knows, maybe if I got enough followers or people that got interested, maybe I'd do that. Who knows? Maybe I would. It was always just about making content for friends and family and whoever decided to just sit down and listen. Anyway, so I got to talk about a couple issues. That's what I do when I get on here. I play very briefly. I try to talk about issues and just talk about if I do anything new equipment-wise, which I did get a new Fender. Really nice. Bit of a parts caster, but it's a 2000 neck on a 70. It's a 70s body. Let's just put it that way. Pretty interesting. Ain't gonna lie. Heavy. Frickin' heavy. Anywho, oh, and I did do the. Let's talk about that briefly. The Sam Ash. Sam Ash closing its door sale. Yeah. Anyway, I did. I went to, the closest one to me was, it's like a half hour, about 20, 25 minutes away. Half hour in traffic, whatever. I got an SG. I went and picked up a Gibson SG. Honestly, they were claiming it was $21.99. I ended up getting it for $17.99. I don't, everyone kept saying, "Oh, you got to go. The fire sales are on. It's on." And the only reason I did it, to be honest with you, because out of all the guitars that were left, there were some nice ones. There was There was maybe 3 Strats left, maybe 2 Tellys. They had a Lizzie Hale Explorer in there, but that one, I think that one they'd only knocked like $100 off, and I'm talking this was like the last weekend according to what they were saying, and I was like, wow. And it said right on it, everyone's all, you go in there and it says right underneath it. It said right there, this is its final price. Don't, and then we won't go any lower. Whatever. It was basically telling you, this is it. Don't ask. And I did ask because, well, it's like anything. Don't touch that. Why? All right. I had to ask. I I went, so you're closing your doors? He said, this is it. This week. I said, okay, so I gotta ask. I know it says right here that this is it, you know. And he went, dude, we're losing our jobs. I said, okay. And he said, so we got to get as much money out of all this as we can, as much as we can, to, you know, it's our last paychecks. And I was thinking to myself in my head, I'm sympathetic towards you losing your job. I can't imagine you didn't know way in advance. Again, I'm not sympathetic to people losing their jobs. Believe me. But he was trying to make it sound like that's where we draw the line because we need that money to pay our paychecks. I was like, pretty sure they're going to give you your final paycheck before you absconds, leave, move on. What's your thoughts on that, guys? I mean, is Guitar Center next? I know a lot of people are going, nah, Guitar Center won't go down in flames. I don't know. I think Amazon, Sweetwater, all these places stand a good chance of putting the brick and mortar guys out of business. I don't know. It's just my 2 cents. I would like to be wrong. It's a new day and age. You know, us old guys, when we started going to Guitar Center back in the day, yeah, we wanted to go in and physically pick up that guitar and physically play that guitar and look at the color and decipher what color. You know, for those of us that really remember, you know, the Charvel thing, you know, when Charvel, we were getting into Charvels and Gibson Les Pauls. We wanted to see one of those up close, hold it, play it. So I don't know, maybe this new day and age, these new kids, and I have kids and grandkids. Yeah, I'm that old. That's right. I said it. Man, I know that it has changed a little bit. I do talk to some of these youngins and say, hey, what's your 2 cents? What's your thoughts? And they're okay with ordering online and it showing up, and if they don't like it, sending it back. So I guess times have just changed, and by the way, this isn't any political. Let's not go there. I don't want to get into that side of things. I'm talking about, let's keep it in music and all that. All right. I even had that happen. I had a hat on. Not even going to go into that. And my hat wasn't even politically motivated, by the way. But apparently, it offended someone. A hat. A freaking hat. And it didn't even, no affiliation. Because I have no affiliation, okay, to anybody. Okay? I don't. I can't even vote here, okay? I'm from England. I live here. I know there's no accent before we go where. Sure, yeah. I was born there, kept my citizenship, and I live here, grew up here. So anyways, a hat. So anyway, it's got nothing to do with that. I'm talking about, are we at a day and age now where you're really okay with it just showing up in a box at the house? As opposed to, like I say, us older guys, us guys that were listening to, you know, Dokken, Brat, Motley, Poison, all those. Not saying that the younger guy, I'm talking us that were listening to them when they were still was about almost our age, maybe 5-10 years older than us, right? Yeah, we just kind of really like to touch, feel, crank the Marshalls, you know, see the Mesa Boogies, you know, all that good stuff. Maybe some people are just really okay with it showing up at the door. So maybe that's why, you know, these places will just fade away. It's sad. But anyway, back to the deals. The whole tirade. Just off into the North 40. Anyway, let's touch on something else here. I want to touch on something. I mentioned Lizzie Hale in the last, and I talked about her briefly in my last video. I'm pointing like it's, like my last video is playing over there on that in the mirror. And I noticed now that there's a lot of people commenting on her sitting in with Skid Row. I don't know, but I thought it was good. I really think the band needs to sit down and assess where they go. I was noticing that for a brief moment there, Sebastian Bach thought he was gonna possibly get the call, and then Dave Snake Sabo came out and said, "No, it's not gonna happen." And clearly, there's some bad blood there, right? I mean, even George and Don, all the arguments we heard about, all the stuff we heard about, the minute someone went, "Here's some money," they went, "Well, all right." Right? Let's face it, someone out there would give Skid Row right now millions. And I get it. And by the way, not that any of them would ever see this. I am not knocking any of them, not Sebastian's camp or Skid Row's camp. I'm just saying, I'm sure they've had the offers laid out on the table. There's clearly some bad blood there. No, it's not a good look. If I could sit down in a room with the band, I'd say it's not a good look that you keep bouncing around with singers. It's not a good look, but it is what it is. I can't say why that's happening. I don't know them from Adam. They seem like nice guys when I see them in interviews. There's one, I won't mention a name, that he seems kind of moody, but if one's holding up the whole kit and caboodle, then I don't know. I like food in my fridge. Not that I'm of that caliber, but if I had been and someone said to me, "Hey, if you give you $1 million right now, and all you got to do is 6 shows. Well, that's all you got to do. Go do 6 shows. We'll give you $1 million." I could have a very bad animosity towards someone. I just wouldn't be in their same dressing room. I wouldn't be probably on the same tour bus. I may make that a stipulation and say, I'll do it for the fans, but here's the stipulations. You book us at a hotel, book me on the 5th floor and him on the 2nd floor. You need us to get on a plane, you put me in the back of the plane, you put him in front of the freaking plane, And I get it. It sounds petty when we say it out loud like that. It sounds, but I get that some people they can write great music together, but they just can't coexist. They just can't do it. So, after the Lizzie Hale, the reason I bring that up is her being there to do those shows. Everyone, it stirs up the Bach going, and maybe I'm going to get the call, which brings Skid Row to ain't going to happen. Of course, now he's mad again. It's a shame, and then this Richie Sambora thing, right? Because aren't they kind of Bon Jovi, Skid Row, aren't they? It doesn't matter. Same thing, Richie Sambora says, I'd go back. John's voice heals or it gets better, I'll go back. And then you hear, I mean, okay. I don't know. You tell me, is it worth the money grab, the cash grab at that age? Okay. Again, I am not picking on any of these people. This is legitimate stuff that I think in my head. At that age, don't you think? Because those guys are probably 5, 10 years older than me. Okay, I'm 55, guys. I know it's young. I know what you're thinking. But great for 50. I know. But so 65, 60, 65, some of them might be even a little older than that, right? A cash grab? Just saying. Cash grab. I don't know. I think it's worth doing. Don't you? I mean, come on. In your 60s, retirement's is breathing all over you. And I know you'll never really retire from playing music, but it will sure make life a lot easier if your fingers get a lot really arthritic and slow down. That knowing that the bank's got a little bit of a pillow, a little nest egg sitting in there, right? So I don't know. As far as the Skid Row thing goes, I don't know. There's clearly some just animosity going on there. There's clearly anger and animosity. Whether they're entitled to it, I don't know. I'd have to sit down in a room with them, and I'd have to hear, because there's 3 sides to every story, right? There's their side, there's Bach's side, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth. Somewhere in the middle there. So I'd have to hear everyone's version of events, and then have to decipher from there what sounded more feasible, right? As far as bringing up Sambora and Bon Jovi, I don't know. I think that's another one where cash grab, not that John Bon Jovi in any way, shape, form, stretch of the imagination needs the money, but it'll give the fans what they want. Now that's another thing. Okay, so let me bring that up since I said that. A cash grab means that us, the fans, that want to go see them, are paying out the nose because we're going to go see this big reunite. Is it really worth it to us, to throw that money out? Most people will. But I don't know. I think it's sad that everybody's, that angry at one another. So that brings me to the next topic here. Old man topics. Things that I sit and think about while I sit and watch YouTube, play my guitar. I clean pools for a living now. That's what I do. I own my own company doing that. It's cool. I like it. But things that I think about. This Ronnie Radke, is that his name? And Sebastian Bach are at each other's throats. The people are saying again, if I remember correctly, wasn't it like a year ago or so, or maybe longer? It was the Eddie Trunk spouted off about their laptops got stolen or something. Wasn't that the story? And he passed comment on, why aren't they playing live? Why they gotta, or something to that nature, where he commented on their why do they need the computers? Why aren't they playing live? And he wants bands to play live. And Ronnie Radke, of course, takes the low road and just comes out swinging. Look, I don't know this guy. I honestly have never even heard him speak. I've only seen images of this guy. I don't know him from Adam. Again, I'm not going to sit here and pick on him. I will pick on the fact that when he goes low, he goes super low. And that's not going to... I get negative publicity is publicity. But if I don't know who you are from Adam, and a lot of the people around me don't, it means that when we do hear about you, it means we're just hearing the negative about you. It doesn't help you in the long run. But I don't know him from Adam. So, okay. So before, anyone thinks that I don't know. I will say that he just goes low. Okay. But I don't, Sebastian Bach, I don't know what, I saw that he commented or chimed in on the Eddie Trunk thing or something, wasn't it? Something like that. So now there's this beef again or something. I just saw it today and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Anyway, I just don't get it, guys. I don't get it. I really just don't get it. As far as using a laptop for your show, if it's just to add things in there, I think I said this in another video, I'm not the person who's gonna say it's wrong. I think if you literally relied on your whole show, in other words, your band really didn't do much except sit back and just kind of the whole show going. And in the background, there's all this stuff going on, right? Then maybe I'd say, okay, that's a bit much. But if you've got bomb effects or a keyboard and you don't want to take a keyboardist out on the road, or none of you can play keyboards, and whoever went in the studio, sometimes let's face facts, the engineer could play keyboards or whatever, and so they lay in this keyboard track and you want it there. Whatever, I understand. I totally understand. One of my favorite bands, they do the same thing. But it's only to add the things that, that they need to add. And I don't see anything wrong with that. If it was doing the whole show, then I'd say, yeah. But as far as, so I think that's where all this beef started, is what I'm saying. You see, I go out on these tirades and I have to think, that's not it. We were talking about that. Anyway. What is going on? What is going on, Anywho, so this, let's talk about this guitar for a minute. Let's try this single coil in the old neck routine here. Pretty cool guitar, I ain't gonna lie, guys. I know I've talked about it. I think I've shown it off more than once. I used to have the Kamikaze, the original. It cost me a lot. I don't have it anymore. And you might ask, Damon, why don't you have it anymore? It was super heavy. It made my Les Paul feel lighter. And because I paid so much money for it, this is a real stupid story, but I'm an old guy, I can tell stupid stories. Because it was heavy and it cost so much, I wouldn't take it out. The first time I took it out, someone knocked it off the stand, and I was like, are you, fortunately, it fell onto a soft surface, so it didn't do, but I was just like, no. So then it just sat in its case. with its certificate of authenticity. And I just went to stupid. I've reached a point where I sold off most of my custom shops and more expensive guitars because I was like, they're just sitting in cases, not getting used because I'm too scared to. So I just went, I could use the money, buy cheaper guitars, and those I'll play, and if they fall off the stand, it just doesn't matter. So there, all right? Nice. Is that Zach Wild in the room? Just kidding. Anyway, I wanted to put a video out. Just wanted to talk, get some old man things off my chest. So there you have it. You know, if you want to, those of you, all three of you that see this, if you'd like to comment on some of the stuff I've talked about, comment on the guitar, comment on the positive grid that's down here. Those of you that might stumble across me, you know, if you want to subscribe, that's great. You don't have to. I get it. Old guy, you know, talking nonsense. You know. But I do talk about instruments. I am going to get in the band room. I know I say this. I've said it before, and I'm gonna get in there and start showing off the equipment, you know. No, I'm not a shredder. I'm not a this. I'm not a that. I'm just an old geezer that likes to play his guitar. But with that said, if you'd like to just subscribe and like the channel and check in on me, you know, make sure I'm still doing okay. I'm at that age. Much appreciated. For those of you that want to get guitar lessons, yeah, I'm not the guy. But fortunately for you, music is when. Uncle Ben Eller. I believe Andy Wood has some stuff you can go check out. Robert Baker. The Art of Guitar. And there's always Uncle Marty. So, Marty Schwartz. Uncle Marty. Oh, friend, don't, you know, look at all these uncles you got. Uncle Ben, Uncle Marty. Anyway, go check those guys out. You know, but till next time, it's been fun being able to shoot the breeze at the camera again. My phone, it's my iPhone. I'm not gonna lie, it's my iPhone, guy. Oh no. Now what? Oh yeah, there it is. And now I've learned that much. Come a long way, folks. Peace, stay out of trouble, and we'll chat next time.